Hi and welcome. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to do something special today where I am going to make a pineapple, prawn and coconut curry for you. Sort of like a Rogan Josh curry but with coconut milk instead of tomatoes. And I'm going to show you how we do it. So we're going to be using these really amazing prawns. I've got these raw peeled and deveined king prawns from the local Chinese supermarket, which is where all the restaurants shop, and these are really, really good prawns. We're going to put those aside for a moment. Everything I use is, as much as possible, is organic. So all the vegetables, the herbs, the garlic, the mushrooms, the peppers are all organic. So we're just going to chop this pepper. Let's turn on the heat. I also use my doTERRA essential oils in my cooking as much as possible. So you may well see me chucking some stuff in. You can see my lovely little kitchen collection here. I'm just taking off the white bits of the pepper. And once the wok is heated, I'm going to chuck some organic rapeseed oil in, which is flavoured with rosemary and basil. doTERRA essential oil. We'll just put those bits in the bin. Let's put some of this oil in. So this is my homemade oil from organic rapeseed oil, which I then add rosemary and, where are they? Basil and rosemary. Is here, basil and rosemary is next door. Here. So this is rosemary and basil, that's our oil. We're going to put these peppers straight into the oil and get those softening before we add our prawns. And yes, you did just see me drop and pick up the pepper, but it's the 4-second rule in this house, and it's all going to get very, very hot, which is great for killing bacteria. This is a very hot wok. Hopefully it won't splash the camera, but it will be a bit noisy, but that's a nice noise, we like that. So we'll just let that soften, and then we're going to pop in some mushrooms, organic mushrooms. We're just going to let all of the vegetables soften just a little bit. Before we add the prawns and the spices. Yeah, so as I say, I try and use organic products as much as possible. This garlic is organic and this rice is organic. We're going to make a garlic and lemon rice with this. Whether it will be on this video or not, I might do a separate video for that one. So we'll just let that settle. We'll put a little bit of soy sauce in, good soy sauce. And give it a stir. And now we can turn that up a little bit because now there's more stuff in the pan. It consumes all that heat. So you want to actually make sure you've got enough heat, because actually it will cook pretty quickly in the wok. So we'll let those sit there. Let's chop some garlic now. The way I chop garlic is really easy. I sort of release it from the bulb here. And then before I've taken off its jacket, I squash it. And actually it will come out of its jacket pretty easily. The less you can touch the garlic, the better, because obviously it does have a very strong taste. I happen to love it, but not everyone does. And it can definitely be more pungent when you're preparing it. So if it doesn't come out of its jacket, you just snip off the edges. And we'll have a little bit more, because we'll prepare some for the rice as well. Keeping this going. Remember to move it around the pan so that it doesn't burn or crisp up. Let's prepare a little bit of garlic for the rice as well. Let's do a bit more. Okay. All those bits now go in the bin. It's a bit smoky, but that's actually what you want with a wok. It's got that lovely, very hot smoke flavour. Definitely makes the kitchen hot too. So let's get some of this garlic into the pan. And we'll add some more mushrooms. I'm using organic close cut mushrooms and organic peppers and organic garlic, and I've prepared a stock with some organic mushroom stock cubes. Let's get all of these in. And just give it a stir so that the heat moves around the pan and gets everywhere. Turn it up a bit. Now the next thing we're going to do, now that that's getting nice and soft, oh, we've got an escapee. Now we're going to add some more oil to the pan and put some prawns in. Using our oil with basil and rosemary again. It's just such a great mix, such a great aroma to all sorts of dishes. Now these are actually frozen straight from the freezer, and we'll put them straight in, and they won't take long. And actually the ice around them will melt and make like a nice little fish stock, and we'll add a little bit of extra. So I don't know, maybe a couple more. We do love these prawns. Let's turn that right up. We'll put the prawns back in the freezer, because they will defrost very quickly otherwise. And so move them around so they get lots of the heat from the pan. Try and get all of them touching the pan in some way, and they will definitely, that one's going to thaw in a second. Now let's prepare some of this. This is coriander. If I said parsley before, I was lying. It's actually coriander. Fresh coriander, also from the Chinese supermarket. Pretty much the only place that I will buy fresh herbs. I really do prefer to rely on my doTERRA essential oils. I've got so many wonderful herbs and spices through my oils, and it really makes a massive difference, because fresh herbs actually go off very quickly. If you don't keep them in an airtight container, they will actually go off and go yellow and definitely lose their potency. So you've got to use them really quickly. And so I do love them because, you know, there's that fresh herb aroma and texture, but at the same time, yummy. At the same time, you know, the amount of usage I will get out of a bottle of essential oil, where a large bottle, as in a 15 ml bottle, actually has 250 drops in it, and you only need 1 drop. For, you know, for this kind of meal, I would only put 1 drop in a pan. It really is super strong, super powerful, and in some cases, like with oregano, I wouldn't even use a drop. I would use a toothpick and just touch the oil, and then dip the toothpick into the food, because oregano is probably the most powerful essential oil, and very, very strong, and you know, too much is too much. It really is. So see, you can see those prawns now really starting to go from grey to pink. Really lovely king prawns that will keep a lot of their size and shape. So many prawns just kind of disintegrate the second you put them in the pan, but not these ones. We've also got some red jalapenos. We're going to chuck some of these in. They're almost like in a sort of jam. They're so sweet, but very nice and spicy. So we'll put those in there. And then we're just tearing up the coriander. Just tearing up the coriander. We don't need to chop it. When you tear herbs, it's actually a lot better than cutting them, because they tear along their natural line, the natural line of the leaf or the stem, and so as a result you get a much nicer flavour. So we'll put all of that in. That's already adding a lot of flavour. Then we're going to add some paprika and turmeric powder, ground powder. So this is some paprika, and then some turmeric, which is absolutely amazing. I do actually have a turmeric oil, which I could use, but nothing beats the real orange madness of fresh turmeric powder, and it will give the curry such a gorgeous colour. I haven't actually tried making a curry with the turmeric essential oil instead of the ground powder. Maybe I could do that for another video and see how that goes, but I do love to use the fresh spices and herbs in certain cases. Now you can see that yellow colour coming off the turmeric. Turmeric is like a kitchen wizard. It is a health wizard. It reduces inflammation in the body, and inflammation is the root cause of all diseases. So if you can do anything to reduce inflammation and support your body's inner health, then, you know, inflammation is the place to start, and turmeric is your best friend. This sort of wisdom has been known and used in Ayurvedic Indian medicine for thousands of years, and it's still going strong. So now that we've got all of that beautifully bubbling away, we're going to add a little bit of the mushroom stock, just a touch, just to get some extra liquid in there, because it's really the liquid that's cooking the food now, because the pan's made the liquid hot, so we have to keep moving it in the liquid, otherwise the pan might not distribute the cooking as well. So what else are we going to put in? We're going to pop in some pineapple chunks and their juice. Now, not everyone will like pineapple with prawns or like pineapple in a curry. I happen to think it's wonderful and a wonderful addition. So let's put some of the cubes in and a little bit of the juice, and then The rest that can be saved for breakfast tomorrow. Let's put in some freshly ground black pepper. A little bit more soy sauce. And some dry roasted peanuts for a nice crunch and texture and all that lovely protein from the nuts. I am a pescatarian, I don't eat meat. I do eat fish, some fish, and all vegetables and pulses, and I go gluten-free when it comes to bread and cakes, and I go organic as far as possible, as far as I can get hold of it, when it comes to dairy, eggs, and all my other natural fruits and veg, and rice and pastas and stuff. So I'm very conscious about the kind of stuff I put in my body, and it's got to be organic and happy animals as much as possible. Happy fish that's sustainably caught, tuna that's sustainably caught, for instance. So we've all got to do our little bit for the environment, and absolutely my health has rocketed since I gave up eating meat, and I just feel on the whole so healthy when I've made a meal like this. Now what we're going to do is add a little bit more stock and then turn it up a bit, and we're just going to let that cook down for a moment and put a little bit of the Rogan Josh spices in. This is like a Rogan Josh spice paste, so it's just more nice spices really, and that's going to give us a real nice flavour. Just put that straight in there. Lovely. Now the last thing we're going to do is make, or not make, but open the coconut milk. And we're going to add the milk slowly, because we do have quite a lot of pineapple juice in here, and it's going to split, but that's okay. It actually gives the curry a really, really beautiful texture and flavour. So just gently stir in the coconut milk. I'm using a whole tin of coconut milk. It really is up to you how saucy you want your curry. Some people like quite a dry curry. I'm a very saucy curry person, and I love to just have a nice amount of sauce to go with the rice. So actually this is going to reduce down quite a lot. So you want to start with quite a lot of juice and sauce, because obviously this is going to reduce down and give you that lovely thick sauce that we all love. So we can now move these out of the way. And we can get on with making the rice at the same time. We're just going to use a small pan for the rice. We don't need a lot. And we're going to use a small cup to measure. So the way I make rice is, we've got this lovely So Organic rice, basmati rice. I'll just turn the curry down now, and that will just simmer really nicely. and create a really nice thick sauce. So let's open the rice. Now the way I measure rice and cook it is I'll do 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. So there's the rice going in, straight into the pan. And then I'm using bottled mineral water for the rice. I don't use tap water. I don't drink water out of the tap. And I certainly don't cook with it. And when it comes to rice, the rice is actually going to absorb all of that water. So you want to actually be using a water that you can trust. And this is how I do it. So we'll turn on the heat. And into the rice, we're going to put that garlic. It doesn't matter that there's a few of those herbs on there as well. Let's put that in. Straight into the water. And I said to you it was going to be a lemon rice as well. So let's put a little bit of salt in. I'll probably add more salt later, but I don't add too much at this stage. Now let's get some lemon and put a couple of drops of lemon essential oil into the rice. And that's all you need. And then I'm going to give it one quick fork through, but I'm actually not going to stir it, because actually you want to leave the rice really to do its own thing. It will cook really quickly, and that lovely garlic flavour will, and the lemon will infuse throughout the rice as it cooks. So you can see that the consistency of the curry is already changing. It's starting to show the oils coming to the top of the surface. I think we'll put a little bit more black pepper in. And let's put some sriracha and chili sauce in. We do have some fresh jalapenos in there, but it's nice to have a kick. I like a lot of chili, I like a lot of spice. You definitely need to adjust it accordingly for you. And just continue to bring the bits down from the sides of the pan, all that flavour that's sitting on the pan, just continue to add it back into the curry as you stir, ensuring that you keep all that lovely flavour that's been created. And you can see it's got that lovely yellow colour because of the turmeric that we put in. That's the sort of colour that we want. We do have a little bit more stock. I might add a little bit more just to pull down those bits, but I don't want to use it all, I think. We'll turn up the heat again now. So actually I can see the bubbles appearing in the rice already. I always keep the lid on. This is called the closed lid rice method. Some people cook rice without a lid on. I actually think it cooks better and cooks quicker. Most things will cook quicker if you put a lid on, because obviously you're retaining all that heat. It's not being lost. But it also tends to kind of help steam the rice as well. And we will give it an extra few minutes of proper steam at the end, just so it's nice and fluffy. So now we're going to let this sit for about, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes, and it will really come up. So the rice will be ready in about 5 minutes, but you don't want to sit here for 25 minutes, so we'll come back when it's done. So now you can see that the sauce has really reduced down and got a lot thicker and actually got darker. And all that, where it looked like it was splitting before, that's all blended together, and it now looks really, really yummy. Smells amazing. We have not yet invented smell-o-vision, but if we have got there, eventually you'd be able to smell this. Now the rice obviously finished a while ago. What I did was, as soon as the water had completely absorbed, I added a little bit of salt, fluffed it up, and then put it back on the hob. No heat, but just the lid on, and that actually steamed the rice as well. So now we've got some really lovely sticky rice flavoured with garlic and lemon essential oil. And we've got our beautiful prawn, pineapple, coconut and vegetable curry definitely with some kick. It's got some lovely spices and chili in it and some fresh coriander. And let's plate up. We're going to add a nice scoop of rice. Lovely and fluffy. A little bit more. Just a little bit more. We'll put the lid back on. And now you can actually leave the curry to keep cooking. It will continue to get more flavorful, but actually obviously it will also lose some of its juice, which will evaporate. So you might want to turn it off so that you save all that lovely flavor. So that now you can see those lovely prawns are still nice and chunky and rich. Making a very healthy, protein rich, omega-3 rich dish. Lots of protein in the nuts as well. And we'll put some sauce on, which will be beautiful with that rice. It's just going to absorb all those flavours. There we go. And dinner, as they say, is served. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you'll come for dinner again.